good. Hey, glad I caught up with you.
No worries.
Do you got a couple of seconds? I just want to ask a couple of questions from my first-time homebuyers.
For sure.
All right, cool. Meeting room? Training room?
Sure.
Awesome, man.
Go on up.
Okay, sweet. Thanks. Appreciate your time on this. Thank you. All right, I'll ask you later what you're doing in here. This is awesome, nice and empty.
Nice and empty office.
Totally.
Okay.
All right, yeah. So just a couple of off the hip questions, but they're very, very important to my guys. Do you mind if I videotape?
Go nuts.
Awesome.
Go nuts.
So first and foremost, my background was when I used to write mortgages, but now you're the guy that looks after everybody here at the RE/MAX office. By the way, his office is located here in the RE/MAX office in Kelowna.
Right.
So I'm gonna hit
reception.
Gonna hit you with 4 questions.
Sure. Fire away.
When should somebody come in and get pre-approved? But it's a double part. Does it matter if they're a first-time homebuyer or not?
No, great question. One thing I always mention, like a lot in our Tuesday meetings, try and get a pre-approval as soon as possible. The main thing about a pre-approval that I always mention to people is do a rate hold. So it's like a two component. So we get a 120-day rate hold right away, especially in this interest rate environment as we're in right now. And then obviously do a thorough pre-approval, income documents, credit check, all that fun stuff. So
Cool. So what does the process look like? How long would someone have to, if they come and see you, what does it take typically for them to get an accurate pre-approval from you? And what does that look like?
yeah, so usually when I meet with a new client, basically send them a detailed list, have the discussion like, hey, what do you do for work? You know, how long have you been at your employment? If they're a T4 employee, so basically working for an employer, or if they're self-employed or they incorporated, so that way we can get them a list of all the documents that we need. A lot of times it is difficult, you know, some people difficult trying to get income documents, but the sooner we can get that stuff, the better. That way we can get a more accurate pre-approval number, and then obviously let the clients and you guys know, so that way you guys know what you're looking for instead of just kind of guessing out there. So
Okay, so of course, as a realtor, the number one thing, we get an accepted offer.
Yeah.
We bring the offer to your attention.
That's the easy part.
For me, it is. But we have 2 different skill sets.
Yeah.
You're a phenomenal mortgage rep, and I am a phenomenal realtor. Let's just say it is. But upon receipt of an offer, is there any additional documents the buyer may be required to bring? Now, let's say that they're pre-approved, but they didn't find a house right away in the first 10 days. Let's say it took 6 weeks.
Yeah, so definitely, like if they're self-employed, depending on the time of year, not necessarily, but for a majority of clients, we would need like updated letter of employment or pay stub in most cases. So depending on how long that lag took, and obviously the time of year as well, right? So we would reach out right away. The other thing is when we are working with, or when I'm working with a client, always like to get all the realtor's information. So hey, you know, are you working with Scotty? Great, I've got all his contact information. And then from there, once they have an accepted offer, a lot of times we have seen where clients don't know what to do. So I reach out to the realtor right away and then get that information, so the clients just kind of back off and let us do our work, basically.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to put you on the hot seat.
Oh, I thought I was in the hot seat.
No,
Okay.
you're available. All right, you ready?
Okay.
Different side. Okay.
Okay.
People ask me this all the time, even when I was doing your job 10 years ago.
Okay.
What's the difference between a professional mortgage specialist at CIBC, yourself,
Okay.
and a mortgage broker? What's the difference?
That's a loaded question.
I know. You're on the hot seat.
Great question. Both of us, at the end of the day, both of us are great at what we do. You know, every mortgage broker, mortgage specialist, it all depends on, you know, how much experience they've gained over the years, but we both provide a great service for clients. On the mortgage broker side, they do have access to obviously A lenders, B lenders, private, and they do have access to a bunch of different lenders. Here at CIBC, I know we have a lot of products that will match a lot of what all those other lenders offer. And a lot of people don't know is that we do offer a B and a private side. So sometimes if the clients have bad credit or have CRA taxes to be paid, that is an option as well. The pro on our side, I would say, is turnaround times can be quicker than on the broker channel. So sometimes 24 to 48 hours for a rush purchase. And the one thing I like is just having that team. So if the client needs an account, needs investments, we have a team, like a dedicated team here in Kelowna or surrounding areas that I have good relationships with. And obviously on the other side, I'm not sure how that works because it's sometimes a la carte basically, so.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the next question. This is going to be an easy one.
Okay.
Pre-approval, you work for CIBC. Client comes in, you give them a pre-approval. Do you know if the same experience would be if they're going through a mortgage broker, if a mortgage broker hasn't selected the bank for which the application will be going to?
Pre-approvals, I've seen a lot where, again, I think when it comes to pre-approvals, a lot comes down to the experience. Because sometimes if the broker or a specialist looks at the income documents wrong, different zoning properties, especially here in Kelowna, like most lenders don't touch resort properties. And for example, we will do them, but we usually don't use rental income. So just things to consider, right? So sometimes depending on the zoning, how do we treat rental income? How do we treat like how that person reviews, financial statements for if a client's self-employed? So a lot of different aspects. So I've seen all sorts of things over the years. So.
Perfect. That is fantastic. I appreciate that. So I don't know if you can see me, but just so you know, I'm going to be asking you these questions throughout the year. Just because we're ending 2023 doesn't mean we're not going to have these questions in 2024. What's most important is asking the questions before you guys have to ask. Okay? Anyways, Scott here at Remax. You know that because you're on my site. But Marlon, thank you very much.
No problem.
Give us a shout out. What's your phone number?
778-215-3197.
And we'll put that at the bottom too once we update Marlon's contact information with his email address. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.